Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we dive deep. Today we're going to be talking about work.
Work, 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 work.
Always working. But, is this how we're supposed to be working?
Yeah, is this it?
Well, to help us figure that out, we're diving into this really interesting article called Working Conditions from the Past by Sylvia Ola. And let me tell you, she is not afraid to shake things up.
No, she's not. This is contrarian HR at its best.
Absolutely. And speaking of contrarian HR, if you're loving this deep dive, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's build a community of like-minded folks who are ready to rethink the way we work.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so Ola, she comes out strong right from the beginning. She says that maybe this whole nobody wants to work thing is wrong.
Mm.
Like maybe it's not that people are lazy.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe it's that they don't want to work under conditions that feel like they're straight out of the history books.
Okay, I am intrigued. Tell me more.
So to really drive this point home, she looks at 6 super common workplace practices. And guess what?
What?
Their roots go way, 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 way back.
No way.
Way. So first up, the 8-hour workday. We all know it. We all
Yeah.
maybe love it. I don't know.
Sure, yeah.
But get this. This idea, it can be traced back to 16th century Spain.
Seriously.
Seriously, imagine. No electricity,
Wow.
no internet,
Yeah.
no smartphones constantly buzzing with notifications.
A simpler time.
Right. So it makes you wonder, right? Does this 8-hour workday thing even make sense anymore?
Especially now, right? When so many people are working remotely or they've got these, flexible schedules.
Totally. And, sticking with the theme of outdated structures, let's talk about organizational charts.
Ooh, yeah. The good old org chart.
Still often based on a model from 1854.
1854.
Which, come on.
That's a long time ago.
Right. The world has changed a lot since 1854.
Yeah, for sure.
And what Ola points out is that, these traditional org charts, they prioritize authority over expertise.
Oh, that's a good point.
So you can have someone with, brilliant ideas, super talented, but they're stuck way down at the bottom of the chart,
Yeah, and their ideas might never actually get heard.
Exactly.
Fascinating.
And then there's time clocking.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, time clocking.
The bane of many an employee's existence.
Uh-huh. Right. I mean, this one's been around forever, seriously, like ancient times.
Wow, really?
But Ola is really talking about how it's been used since the late 19th century to track employee attendance. Are you there or not?
Interesting.
And she says this whole focus on time spent misses the point completely.
Yeah, I can see that.
What if someone gets all their work done in 5 hours? Are they somehow less valuable than someone who takes 8?
Right. It should be about the quality of the work, not just the quantity of time.
Exactly. It's about results, not just, physical
Oh,
presence.
it makes sense.
Especially now with so much remote work and flexible schedules. So Ola, she's really advocating for a focus on skills and knowledge and actual, output.
Yeah, what value are you bringing to the table, not just how long are you sitting at the table.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And, while we're talking about valuing people, we got to talk about those annual appraisals.
Oh, boy, everyone's favorite.
She calls them corporate nonsense.
She doesn't hold back, does she?
Nope.
But I kind of get it, though, right? I mean, have you ever left a performance review feeling actually motivated and inspired?
No.
Me neither.
It's more like a box-ticking exercise.
Yeah, they're trying to, I don't know, measure something as complex as human performance with a bunch of check boxes.
Right. And are those check boxes actually helping anyone improve? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
And these things, these appraisals, they've been around since the 1930s.
Wow.
Ola argues that they're often full of bias and don't really lead to, meaningful feedback or development.
Yeah, that makes sense. You can't capture everything about a person's work in a standardized form.
Right.
So then how do we measure performance in a way that actually matters?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it kind of ties into Ola's next point, which is this whole idea of data-driven decision-making.
Okay, data, data, data. Everyone's talking about data.
Right. And, don't get me wrong, data is important. It can be super valuable.
Yeah.
But Ola, she's cautioning against relying solely on past data to predict the future, especially when it comes to people.
Oh, that's interesting. So you're saying people aren't just data points.
Exactly. We're not robots. Our experiences, our potential, you can't always capture that in a spreadsheet.
Right. So then how do you balance the data with the human element?
That's what we're trying to figure out. We need to use data to inform our decisions, yeah, but we can't let it dictate how we treat people.
I see. I see.
And this leads us to the last point, which is leadership styles.
Ah, yes, the art of leading.
And guess what? Ola says those traditional classifications we all hear about, the authoritarian or the democratic leader,
Yeah.
those are from the 1930s.
No way.
Way. And she's like, come on, people. It's time for an upgrade.
I love her energy.
True leadership, she says, it's talent-based.
What does that even mean, talent-based leadership?
So it's not about fitting people into these like predefined boxes or leadership types. It's about recognizing their unique strengths and
Oh,
abilities.
okay, so like figuring out what someone is really good at and then helping them lead based on those strengths.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
But we've covered a lot of ground here, like from the 8-hour workday to leadership styles. It's clear that Ola is challenging us to question, well, pretty much everything we thought we knew about how work should be done.
It's like she's holding up a mirror
Right.
and saying, hey, take a good, hard look at how you're doing things. Is this really working for you?
Exactly. And the most thought-provoking question she raises is this. What if our current work practices are actually contributing to the whole nobody wants to work narrative?
Ooh, mind blown. I am definitely going to need a minute to process all of this.
We all do. We'll be back in a flash to really unpack this question and see if Ola's ideas might hold the key to creating a more human, more fulfilling future of work. So stay tuned.
Okay, so we're back, and I've had a second to, let all that sink in.
Yeah, there's a lot to process, right?
For sure. But, one thing that really stuck with me is this idea that, like, maybe it's not work itself that people are resisting. Maybe it's, these outdated conditions that Ola talks about.
Right. It's like we're misdiagnosing the problem. We see people struggling and we're like, oh, they're just lazy or they just don't have a good work ethic.
But what if it's the systems that are broken?
Yeah.
What if we're setting people up to fail by making them work in these, like, rigid, outdated ways?
Yeah, and then blaming them when they don't thrive. It's like, come on.
It's like expecting someone to be happy and productive in, like, a dark, cramped office with no windows when they could be working from a beach in Bali.
Exactly. And this is where Ola's critique of the corporate kindergarten really comes into play.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one. It's like she's saying we're treating employees like children who need constant supervision and can't be trusted to make their own decisions.
And think about it. It's not just the 8-hour workday or the time clock. It's the whole mindset. It's like you need to be here from 9 to 5 and you need to ask permission to go to the bathroom and don't even think about stepping out of line.
It's like we're stifling creativity and innovation by creating these super controlled environments.
And then we wonder why people aren't engaged.
It's like, duh, who would be engaged in a corporate kindergarten?
I know, right? And this all ties back to Ola's point about talent-based leadership. Instead of trying to fit everyone into the same mold, what if we focused on helping people lead from their strengths?
Yeah, like what are you naturally good at? How can we leverage those skills to help you lead effectively?
It's a total shift in perspective, right? It's like we've been so focused on managing people that we've forgotten to actually lead them, to inspire them, to create a shared vision that everyone can get behind.
And Ola doesn't just talk about these problems, she actually offers some solutions. I know she goes into a lot more detail in her upcoming book, what's it called? Blind Leading the Disengaged.
Yeah, blind leading the disengaged. From kindergarten to employee experience.
I love that title. From kindergarten to employee experience, that's the journey we need to be on, right?
Totally. And one of the key things she talks about is moving away from time spent as a measure of success. Like, who cares if you're sitting at your desk for 8 hours if you're not actually producing anything of value?
Yeah, like let's focus on the results, the impact you're making, not just how many hours you're clocking.
And this totally connects with her critique of annual appraisals, which are all about measuring inputs instead of outputs. It's like we're so obsessed with checking boxes that we've lost sight of what really matters.
So then how do we measure performance in a way that actually, makes sense?
Well, Ola suggests focusing on things like ongoing feedback, coaching, and development. It's about creating a culture where people feel supported to learn and grow, to experiment, and take risks without being penalized for making mistakes.
Makes sense. And it's also about bringing more of that human element into decision making, right? Like data is great, but it can't be the only factor driving our choices, especially when it comes to people.
Yeah, we need to balance data with intuition, with empathy, with an understanding of what actually motivates people. And I think that's what Ola is ultimately calling for, a more human-centered approach to work.
Yeah, like let's remember that behind every data point is a human being with feelings and dreams and, a life outside of work.
Exactly. It's about creating workplaces where people feel seen and heard and valued, where they can bring their whole selves to work and do their best work.
It's a beautiful vision, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
And it might just be the key to unlocking all that untapped potential and creativity that's out there. It's about time we move past these outdated practices from the past and create a future of work that actually works for everyone.
So what are we waiting for? Let's do it.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Ola's ideas, I think one thing's for sure, she's really given us a lot to think about.
A lot to think about, yeah. A lot to, challenge our assumptions about how we work.
Yeah, like all those things we just accept as, like, that's just how work is,
Yeah.
She's like, nope, not so fast.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who says we have to be stuck in this corporate kindergarten? Who says work can't be, more human, more engaging, more fulfilling?
Right. And it starts with each of us. Like,
Hmm.
we can't just sit around waiting for organizations to change.
Oh, totally. We have to be the change, right? Challenge the status quo, have those tough conversations, even if they're a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. And, Ola, she gives us some really good ideas to start with, like moving away from time spent as a measure of success.
Yes. Let's focus on the value people create, not just how many hours they're, physically present.
Exactly. And, instead of those dreaded annual appraisals, what if we had more like ongoing feedback and coaching and development?
Yeah, like create a culture where people feel supported to learn and grow, to experiment, to take risks.
And I think that's a really important point, like creating that kind of culture where people feel safe to try new things, to not be afraid to fail.
Totally. And when it comes to making decisions, like let's not forget about the human element.
Yes. Data is great,
Yeah.
but it can't be the only thing driving our choices.
We got to use our intuition, our empathy,
Mm.
remember that we're dealing with real people, not just numbers on a spreadsheet.
Right. And, ultimately, I think that's what Ola is really calling for, a more human-centered approach to work. Like, let's create workplaces where people feel seen, heard, valued.
Where they can bring their whole selves to work,
All right.
and do their best work.
Exactly. And if you really wanted to dive deeper into all of this, I highly recommend checking out Ola's book. It's called Blind Leading the Disengaged, From Kindergarten to Employee Experience.
It's a great book. Really makes you think.
And I think, as we wrap up this deep dive, it's important to remember that the future of work, it's not something that just happens to us. It's something we create
Yeah.
together.
I love that. So what one small step can you take today to make your workplace a little bit more human?
That's a great question for everyone to ponder. And that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and keep those conversations going.